Up. The wind chill, however, 5 degrees, and the wind certainly a factor. And the forecast, lots of cold, but we have sunshine as well. The Bears have won the toss, and they will get the ball first. Ryan Longwell kicking off. Rashid Davis on the short kick, picks it up at the 14. And Rashid Davis is hit hard, and a scramble and a fumble on the return at the 30-yard line. And no official call yet. Recovered by the Vikings. It's a big factor. Let's see if the Vikings can capitalize. And on first down, Brad Johnson, the veteran, savvy quarterback, although not mobile, completes an underneath pass to Chester Taylor and a gain of 2 yards. So the veteran Brad Johnson, who is now playing in the coldest game he has ever started. Jason Whittle for the false start, the offensive line, and Whittle and Rosenthal again starting on the right side.
And I really feel that they're at their best offensively when they get Chester Taylor involved. They've got Jim Kleinsaucer, Jermaine Wiggins, both tight ends. By that lineup, you expect them to start pounding this ball a little bit at the start of the game.
And Troy Williamson, who was hot early and has had a lot of drop passes, inactive for this game. As a result of the penalty, second down and 13. Against the pressure, and this pass in traffic is knocked away. They wanted to go to Kleinsaucer and defended downfield by Chris Harris, the strong safety. So let's look at the Bears defense, number one in just about every category. Haven't had many sacks lately, but that could change today.
And one of the other areas that they haven't generated a lot of sacks is from the linebacker level. These guys not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but a very solid group.
And already the big play made in the secondary. Chris Harris starting at strong safety for Todd Johnson. It'll be third down and 13. The ball at the 34-yard line. And the pass dropped Taylor over the middle. So Brad Johnson getting the pass rush. And
you don't want to get in front of that heater too early, though, because it's hard to walk away from it.
Well, Rex Grossman, for all of the flack, most touchdowns by a Bear quarterback since Eric Kramer in '95, and looking to throw on first down from inside the 5. And the pass is thrown to the running back Thomas Jones. And taking a look now, a 1-yard gain at the rest of the Bears offensive line. And this is a group that has been intact the entire season.
One of the few offensive line groups that can say that. And here's their playmakers. Muhsin Muhammad, a great veteran guy to have their possession guy. Bernard Berrien, the deep threat. But Desmond Clark, the tight end position has been very valuable for the Bears offense this season.
So second down and 10, and the quick pass out to Bernard Berrien. And Berrien gets close to the first down yardage with Henderson covering. Taking a look at the Viking defensive line. And Pat Williams is starting. There was some question as to that great run defender not playing. Had fluid drained from his knee.
And the Vikings trying to find ways to keep Ben Lieber on the field, because in previous weeks everybody's throwing the ball against this defense.
And in the secondary for the Vikings, the cornerback Cedric Griffin again starts for Fred Smoot, already forcing a turnover, but the Vikings couldn't capitalize. So a first down on the pass to Berrien. The handoff is to Thomas Jones, and Thomas Jones with a penalty flag down will get a first down pending the call, and it's thrown back at the 20.
You see right there.
That's a really smart job by Olin Kreutz snapping the ball.
Yeah, Pat Williams got in there.
As soon as those defensive linemen cross the line of scrimmage, the center should snap the ball, because it's a free play for the offense. You can throw it downfield, do whatever. You're always going to get an option of coming back.
11-yard pickup, and here's Jones, this time off the left side. And he is knocked out of bounds by Cedric Griffin after a 3-yard gain. Opening minutes here as the Chicago Bears coming home after 3 games in the East, a rarity in a schedule, to beating the New York Giants and the New York Jets, but losing last week to the New England Patriots after starting the season 7-0, and clearly headed for home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. Second down and 7 on the 33. On the design rollout, pass caught by Muhsin Muhammad, and Muhammad wrestled again out of bounds short of the first down by a couple of yards by Dwight Smith.
I think that's one of the plays that offensive coordinator Ron Turner has put into this offense to kind of appease Rex Grossman. You know, he's a guy, his personality, he's a freelance guy. You know, he wants to get out and create, but this offense is really a structured, timing-based offense. I think you see the bootlegs and certain plays like that. Those are plays that fit to the personality of Rex Grossman.
3rd down and 2. Bears have been moving the sticks here in their first possession of the game and going deep for Muhammad and overthrowing. Muhsin Muhammad and Antoine Winfield downfield covering, so that will bring up 4th down. The biggest asset that the Bears have, the ability to strip the ball. They're an opportunistic defense, as everybody knows. On 1st down, Johnson inside the 5, and the pass is caught by Marcus Robinson, the ex-Bear, and knocked back. Tony, more on that.
Well, talking about the Chicago Bears having the 2nd most strips in the league, 2 things they want to do today is they want to go and they want to wrap up and make sure they hold on. The second guy that comes in wants to go and punch at this ball and rip it out. That's how they're going to force fumbles today.
8-yard pickup, Tony. Thank you on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Vikings. Extra tight ends in the lineup. 1 wide receiver. Jeff Dugan, number 83, is in at tight end. Here is Taylor, and Taylor is knocked back. Needed 2 yards. Got no gain on the play.
Well, the Vikings doing a little bit of a job on their own creating turnovers. This is the opening kickoff. Cedric Griffin comes in, and it's just more that collision right there. Then you see the hand follow through, but he just, boy, he really put a big hit on Rashid Davis. It is very difficult to keep the ball tight on a cold day. I mean, more turnovers will occur on a cold day. You've got to be really extra careful with your ball security.
Well, this is a 3rd down play. 2 yards needed for the Vikings. And play action, but Brad Johnson gets hit and gets rid of the ball. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Daniel Manning. And a return of 11 yards. So the pressure on Brad Johnson, the interception thrown, and Daniel Manning, the rookie, picks it off.
Well, that was all created by the pressure. Tank Johnson, 99, is the one who's going to get there to get the hit. Brad Johnson does a good job of avoiding the first one, but that play is dead in the water. I did not expect to see a decision like that from Brad Johnson early in the game in his end of the field. Very little chance for that play to be successful, and this is the result when you try and force something on the Bears.
After a slew of interceptions and fumbles early in the year, had not thrown many in the last couple of weeks, as Thomas Jones goes straight ahead for about 1 yard. And Brad Johnson in the last 2 games only 1 interception, and now the Bears threatening as we send it down to Tony.
Just watching Brad Johnson on that play, when he threw that ball, he didn't have a lot of zoomph on it. And the ball sort of floated away. The wind is definitely a factor if you're not going to have enough gas on those balls today.
And Manning with his 2nd interception of the season. 2nd down and 10 for Chicago. Rex Grossman going deep, and it's off the hands, incomplete to Desmond Clark, the tight end, and covered well downfield by Antoine Winfield.
All right, you just saw Desmond Clark. He's in double coverage. Watch the double move at the top by Muhsin Muhammad. Slant and go. He's got Cedric Griffin to bite. He is wide open. There's an opportunity. If Rex Grossman is playing this game aggressively at the position, that's a bad decision. He threw the ball into the middle of the field to the tight end, which gave plenty of time for the safety to get over the top. On the other side of the field, with a double move called, he missed Muhsin Muhammad wide open in the end zone.
3 wide receivers line up for the Bears, and Berrien is to the bottom of your picture. 3rd down and 10 on the 22, and here's Grossman again to throw, and he throws it right into the hands of a Viking defender, and the interception brought back, and that was Napoleon Harris. And now the Vikings come out 1st down at the 22. And Brad Johnson pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Both of these teams are pass happy so far.
Yeah, unbelievable. Watch what happens here. Napoleon Harris, number 58, he's the guy that's going to make the pick, but I want you to watch. He kind of comes behind the umpire and then drifts back in. I don't know if Rex Grossman lost sight of him, but I mean, he is right in the throwing lane. And then as Tony pointed out, look at all those big bodies in front of Rex. So your middle linebacker goes one way, kind of gets lost in behind the umpire. I don't know if Rex assumed he kept moving to that side of the field, but he threw it right to Napoleon Harris.
The only thing I can think about, they want to throw the ball to set up the run, and here is Chester Taylor, who has gone over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career, picking up 7 yards. Israel Adonijah coming in to make the play.
You know, Moose, you made a good point, and I think that's why Ron Turner has Rex Grossman on the sprint outs to go and get him a better view of downfield and really cut the field in half and limit his opportunities downfield for bad throws.
3rd down and 3 for Minnesota. No score. With nearly 8 minutes to go in the first quarter, Brad Johnson getting time, and on the slant, a fumble, and the Bears may have it back. The pass appeared to be complete and coughed up Marcus Robinson, the ex-Bear. And let's see if they rule it recovered by Minnesota or an incompleted pass.
They're winding the clock, so that would have to be recovered by Minnesota.
It looked like the Bears were right there. Marcus Robinson was hit immediately by Charles Tillman.
First down.
And Jermaine Wiggins alertly recovers the loose ball.
There's an example of what Tony talked about. They're going after the ball, but I don't know how the Bears didn't get that ball back. Jermaine Wiggins, what a great job of getting in there and digging that thing out.
Hey, Tank Johnson had the ball. He lost it. So a gain of 6, and the Vikings with a first down. Here's Taylor with a cut upfield and gets to the 41-yard line. And so the Vikings with Taylor running smartly right now. And right now for a game break, let's check in with Chris Rose in Los Angeles.
All right, Dick, here's some good running from the Redskins. Liddell Betts takes it in. The Falcons don't lay a finger on him. I guess they could have used Michael Vick's middle one on that play. Atlanta's dropped 4 straight, and they're down 7-zip to the Skins. Back to Dick, Moose, and Goose.
All right, Chris, and the Redskins showing some light, winning last week, leading here. 2nd down and 4, and here is Taylor running for the first down. So looks like Minnesota is going back to the bread and butter running game, and Chester Taylor picks up 6 yards. Chris Harris makes the tackle near midfield.
Well, they're not going to back off their running game. Some of the teams that have played Chicago, they kind of get away from some of the things that they do best. I think that Minnesota's offense, when they've been successful, it's really featured Chester Taylor. They come out and they pound the ball. They've gotten into trouble where Brad Johnson has thrown 35, 40, 45 times during the course of a game.
Another first down for the Vikings on the 48. Brad Johnson's going to swing it out, and dropping the ball was Chester Taylor.
Chicago Bears defensive line is doing a great job of getting in Brad's face, forcing bad throws. You saw on that one, he went and jumped, got his hands up, and forced the bad throw to the outside.
4 wide receivers. Cedric Benson, the back, and brings it out into Bear territory. And a 4-yard pickup. Ogundlia making the tackle on Faison, and of course the fullback position left open with the loss of Tony Richardson, suffering a broken arm 2 weeks ago. 2-yard pickup, and the Vikings operating in Bear territory. Game settling down right now. 3rd down and 6 coming up. 5:41 remaining in the first quarter. Play action. Here come the Bears, and down goes Brad Johnson back at the 45. Another penalty flag is thrown in the secondary. Lance Briggs gets the sack.
This could be huge.
3 wide receivers lining up to the right. And Brad Johnson carrying the ball, calling his number to the 40-yard line. Not sure if there was a mix-up, getting 3 yards on the play.
Well, sometimes it's just the defensive front that you see. Look at that gap right there. That must be something that they have seen on film. But here comes Brian Urlacher right back into that area. So, hey, look at that. We got a big 4-yard wide gap right there. Let's just come up, tap the center, and go on a quick quarterback sneak. You got to realize you got one of the best athletes in the NFL that's on the other side of the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw a little bait and switch.
A rare quarterback sneak for Brad Johnson. Here's play action again. Pressure on Johnson, and he's going to get hit from behind and sacked back at the 40-yard line by Alex Brown. No sack there. A 1-yard pickup.
They played well last week against Arizona, but that was against a defense that runs with a lot of exotic fronts. And when you do that, you're trying to hide maybe some of the things that you can't do well defensively. This is a Bears team that knows exactly what they want to do. They've got great athletes, and right now, Adewale Ogunleye at that left end is giving Mike Rosenthal fits.
In the shotgun, the pass caught but hitting immediately Mewelde Moore, and Lance Briggs all over him. Gain of 5 yards. Started to run the ball a lot more. We'll see what's in store for Ron Turner and the Bears. Cedric Benson coming in the game as he usually does on the 3rd possession offensively for Chicago. Starting from the 19. Here's Benson. Benson gaining 46 yards on 10 carries last week and exceeding his yardage of last year. Well, the fewest rushing yards per game allowed. Vikings #1 in the league. In fact, they're doing a better job than Tony's Ravens back in 2000.
Yeah, way to rub it in there. They're doing, I'll tell you what, they are doing a great job, and that's not an easy task right there. And those two guys in the middle, Pat Williams and Kevin Williams, I mean, you just got to take your hat off to those guys.
Vikings used to be a passing team with poor defense, and that certainly has changed. Cedric Benson carrying the ball up to the 26-yard line, where Spencer Johnson, the defensive tackle, is there. Gain of about 3 or 4.
You know, watching this defensive line for Minnesota, they do a great job, both the line and the linebackers, of identifying run or pass. And when it's run, they do a great job of relaying it down the hill, and everybody in that front 7 knows whether it's going to be run or pass, and that's why they're so good against the run.
Temperature 19 degrees, but that doesn't take into consideration the wind chill factor with the wind. 3rd down and 3. Thomas Jones comes in at running back, and Mark Bradley, the speedster at wide receiver as well. 3rd and 3. Here's Jones. He's got the first down. Thomas Jones with a burst past the 40-yard line, getting 16 yards, and the veteran Darren Sharper finally putting a halt to it.
A great cut, because this is going to come out this way, but watch the jump back into the center of the field right there. Napoleon Harris, number 58, overruns it. Great anticipation by Thomas Jones to get back to the inside.
Make sure we get that stat back up after that run, too. I want to know how close they are.
Well, Lovie Smith saying even though the Vikings are #1 against the rush in the league, he says we do what we do, and that is #1 running the ball. And that's what they're doing here. Cedric Benson coming in after the 16-yard run by Jones. And Benson gets 7 close to midfield.
Well, that was one of the other points of discussion this week in Chicago. Cedric Benson voicing again some frustration about not getting an opportunity to get some more carries. If he wants to get more carries, he has to become a more complete running back.
The second quarter, 2nd down and 4 for the Bears. And Grossman stepping up, gets great protection and going deep. And the pass was picked off, and it's intercepted, burying the intended receiver in Antoine Winfield at left tackle. So another injury up front for the Vikings. Chester Taylor, and Taylor close to the 10. Picking up 3 yards.
Well, let's go back and look at the decision. Here's Cedric Benson. He's going to go into the flat. Here's Desmond Clark. He's going to hook up about 15 yards downfield. Both of these are better options for Rex Grossman. He continues to play too aggressively. Yes, it's one-on-one on the outside. You can take your shot. We saw him do that earlier. But the ball gets up, it floats, and it gets intercepted. Every play down the field doesn't have to end in a spectacular play.
And in these conditions with this wind, downfield is not a good option right now.
2nd down and 8, and the pitch going to Taylor off the left side, and Taylor tackled from behind. And good aggressiveness by the Bears defensively. Lance Briggs.
Ryan Cook will have to see how he does in that matchup. He might find himself getting a few more snaps today if he's doing a better job.
So McKinney is back at left tackle, and Rosenthal is out. Here's Mewelde Moore, and hit hard, running right into Lance Briggs, who has been involved in many defensive plays thus far. Gain of 2, 4th down coming up, and the Vikings will have to kick from the end zone.
Well, the defense does their job. Go out, create a 3 and out, get some good field position for your offense. But boy, Rex Grossman, you need to start making some better decisions.
Devin Hester, who has returned 2 punts for touchdowns this year, and this kick is going to bounce inside the 40. Hester at the 45. Here's Devin Hester breaking a couple of tackles. Only the kicker to beat. He can't do it. Hester in for the touchdown, his 3rd of the year.
What a great job of setting up the wall and going back and finding your guys. Unbelievable.
Back-to-back weeks, the Vikings have a return on him for a touchdown. Last week, the opening kickoff by J.J. Arrington. Watch the poor tackling and the poor... Look at this. I mean, are you kidding me? How does this guy end up going all the way for a touchdown? Keep him on your downfield shoulder. Wrap the guy up. That's unbelievable to have a 4-on-1 situation. You've got the punt returner, 4 guys on your coverage team standing right there, and they can't get him tackled.
Play from scrimmage has been 8 yards thus far. And the handoff to Chester Taylor, and not much there. Well, the good teams find a way to win, and in a game that has been filled with turnovers thus far on both sides, that special teams play, and a huge one to give the Bears the lead.
Well, one of those phases that everybody forgets about, and there's been 2 big plays today. Minnesota, the opening kickoff, knocks the ball loose. They've got a short field. They can't take advantage of it, but Devin Hester, just a great individual effort. He made a good job of even getting up and fielding that punt, but then the effort to get it back for a touchdown, breaking some tackles.
Not to be denied. 2nd down and 10. And here's Taylor breaking one. Chester Taylor trying to outrace the Bears into their territory. A huge play for the Vikings. And Brian Urlacher and Daniel Manning racing downfield, but a 42-yard gain for Taylor.
Big gap right here for Brian Urlacher to get up and fill. Gets caught. Another good job by Chester Taylor getting to the backside. They get Lance Briggs sealed from the inside out. Chester Taylor, what a great pickup and a great guy to build your offense around. Brad Childress, when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles, would play against the Baltimore Ravens in the preseason. He'd known about Chester Taylor for years. When he came up here, that was one of the first moves he made.
136 yards and a touchdown last week against Arizona. And here's Brad Johnson in the pocket, going to break down soon, and trying to throw it underneath to Jermaine Wiggins, but a flag is down. And Brian Urlacher.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 54. Flexed his arms and shoved him to the ground. This penalty will be assessed half innocence for goal, automatic first down.
All right, you know, if you have to say he flexed his arms and shoved him to the ground, keep the flag in your pocket.
You got to be kidding me with that call.
I mean, we saw a game lost last week when Matthias Kiwanuka for the Giants had Vince Young in a sack and let him go. And the Tennessee Titans ended up winning that game. It could be the demise of the Giants season. They have got to get a handle on the way they're calling the roughing the passer penalties.
That's ridiculous. They protect the quarterback enough. A guy cannot stop in midair going after a quarterback and not hit him.
1st and goal, and Chester Taylor is stopped in his tracks by the linebacker Hunter Hillenmeyer for no gain. And Tony Correnti came into the production truck, and we talked to him about that very thing before the game, Darryl.
Yeah, and the big thing, I mean, the one that you can't really argue with them about is when they come in and they lower their head. It's the crown of the helmet. Any shot to the quarterback's head, I'll even buy the knee and below. But when you start having to say he flexed his muscles and shoved him to the ground, I mean, come on, what are we playing out here?
2nd and goal at the 9. Johnson handing off to Taylor, and Taylor getting to the 5-yard line. So a big defensive penalty on roughing the passer, questionable against Brian Urlacher, giving the Vikings life. 3rd down and goal coming up.
Now, we talked about Minnesota playing the run. The Chicago Bears defensive linemen need to go and get some penetration and define the rushing lane for these linebackers. Right now, Brian Urlacher's having to go and guess where the guy's going to cut back. These defensive linemen need to get upfield and penetrate. It'll help them out a lot with this rush.
And the shovel pass to Wiggins and he is stopped in his tracks. You saw there were the Vikings just about at the bottom of the NFL in red zone offense. No gain on the play. Fourth down upcoming.
Well, you got to have this play develop a little bit longer. It's tough to run when it's that quick. You got everybody there. Brian Urlacher does a great job fighting through a block, getting back in to make the tackle. But, you know, the shovel pass, you got to kind of stretch it. You got to get out a little bit farther, then flip it. That's a heck of a job by Jermaine Wiggins making that catch.
And, of course, Rasheed Davis, who fumbled the opening kickoff of the game. Low kick. And Hester at the 7. Good return by Devin Hester as he brings it out close to the 34-yard line with 8:48 to go. So talking to Lovie Smith, he said, I've never seen a quarterback with a 9-2 record maligned as much as Rex Grossman, but already today he has thrown 2 interceptions, 3 last week against New England.
Well, he's his own worst enemy right now, and you know everybody has talked to him during the course of the week. I know this for a fact that they have stressed to check the ball down. You don't have to be spectacular every time we try and stretch the field. He's just making very poor decisions right now.
Cedric Benson moving the pile nicely, picking up nearly 8 yards on first down.
You know, it's week 13, guys, and by now Rex Grossman should know that his defense is good enough to win. All he has to do is be patient. We talked about it in the open, and today you see it. He's not being patient. He's not waiting for his opportunities. He's forcing the ball. He's making dumb decisions. Man, if he just relaxed a little bit and takes his time, this team could be unbelievable.
Second down and 2 on the Bears' 42-yard line. Here's Benson again. And he'll pick up the first down to the 45-yard line.
We just saw Lovie Smith there, and we talked earlier about how calm he is on the sideline. We're talking to Lovie yesterday. He said, you know what, Goose, I'll never go and show my emotions, but sometimes when they make stupid moves or stupid penalties, my skin underneath what you see is crawling. You got to love that he said that.
I love your dramatics.
Crawling.
First down and 15. And here's Benson breaking a tackle. Darren Sharper trying to hold on. Not before Benson gets to midfield. Picks up 10 of those yards back.
There's no denying that Cedric Benson is a very physical runner. I mean, they had an opportunity. They got a blitz coming right up the middle. They're running a draw right into it. And he takes a big shot. He's coming off the field right now holding his arm funny. Let me tell you what, that guy packs a wallop when he's got the ball.
Benson averaging over 5.5 yards per carry thus far. Thomas Jones replaces him. Second down and 5 for the Bears at midfield. And Grossman falls down.
Get up.
And obviously got his feet tangled with his center, Olin Kreutz.
You know, I'm thinking the same thing, Tony. I mean, how many times, you know, this happens in the NFL. You know, that you got a lineman that steps on your quarterback's foot. You can see it right there. Stepped on, you just tripped. But the reaction, I mean, okay. Darn it.
Yeah, this, I'll tell you what, these fans in this stadium right now are not happy with Rex Grossman and his effort today.
Third down and 8. Back to the 47. Grossman, he's got plenty of time. That time's running out, and his pass thrown underneath to the tight end Desmond Clark is incomplete. Fourth down coming up, and now the crowd expresses their displeasure with Rex Grossman. Are starting inside the 10-yard line for the 3rd time this afternoon. Chester Taylor getting the call again. Off to a good start. Taylor with 72 yards and 10 carries, picking up 4. Tony, you're down on the field. You can feel the wind a lot better than we can up here.
Well, it's not an advantage or a disadvantage to anybody. Right now, you can see this. Watch. The wind is going across the field. You see that?
Yes.
All right, I'm hyperventilating right now, but it's definitely a crosswind down here on the field. And it's picking up.
We get the idea.
Oh, God.
Second down and 6. Cedric Benson now lines up as the tailback. And here's Benson. And trying to cut to the outside, but Brian Urlacher quick to the running back, and Chester Taylor being worked on the sideline.
Hey, Moose, he flexed his muscles on that tackle, too. Maybe that should be a penalty also.
Yeah, Brad Johnson should have picked that flag up and handed it to the officials. So you can't call that one, please. I'm never going to live that one down in the locker room.
Basin with a 1-yard pickup, and Mewelde Moore coming in, as you saw Taylor right now on the sidelines. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Vikings. Movement going on. Brad Johnson's pass caught by Mewelde Moore, and Moore trying to climb his way to 1st down yardage, and very close. They mark it the imaginary line. That is not official, the yellow line, and it appears that the Vikings are short of it.
Well, Devin Hester, he's going to start. He's trying. He's not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. But the guys on the outside are blocking the forces. Now there's got to be a verbal call. You've actually got to start yelling whatever that signal is to the guys on the outside that have their backs turned, that the ball is right near them.
Van Lieber recovered the ball that bounced off a Bear special teams player. Chester Taylor back in the lineup and getting the call on 1st down, and he is wrapped up after no gain by Lance Briggs.
Here's these guys. They're on the outside working hard. They've got their backs turned. There's the ball. I mean, it bounces right next to him. Dante Wesley, he doesn't know that the ball is right there. The guys that are coming from the inside out have got to make that call so he can get out of the way.
And that's exactly what the Bears are talking about over on the sideline as we wind down to 3 minutes remaining in the 1st half. No offensive touchdowns in this game. Bears are up by 4, but the Vikings with a break, trying to get something going. 2nd down and 10. Brad Johnson pump fakes. He has a receiver wide open, and it's Marcus Robinson, who had beaten his defender downfield. Robinson, who played 5 years with the Bears and set a franchise record 7 years ago with 1,400 yards receiving.
Double move. They get a blitz off the corner. Nathan Basher comes off the corner. Daniel Manning, the safety's coming up, but they do a hitch and go. They turn it into a double move. What a good adjustment on the outside. Brad Johnson knows he missed one right there. Look at the reaction.
And that's the first shot that Brad Johnson has taken downfield in this game. So it's 3rd down and 10. Vikings are only 1 for 7 on 3rd down conversions today. Here's pressure on Johnson, and the pass, unable to hold on to it, is Robinson. So 2 attempts to Marcus Robinson for naught. 4th down coming up. 1-yard punt, giving the Bears good field position, starting from the 40 with 2:42 to go, and the handoff to Thomas Jones, and he is stopped in his tracks by E.J. Henderson, and a loss of 3 yards. The second half of our Fox NFL doubleheader, Giants and Cowboys. Wow.
Unbelievable. What a great game this is going to be. This is for all the marbles in the NFC East. The Giants win this game, they are right back in it.
They must win that game, I'll tell you that.
But what a rough week it has been for the Giants, who beat Dallas in their previous meeting. Here is Grossman in the pocket and hit from behind, and the pass is caught at the 45-yard line by Bernard Berrien, and the forward progress will be marked at the 44, giving him a 6-yard gain. Each team has the full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. From the 45-yard line, pressure on Rex Grossman, and down he goes down at the 32-yard line, and Darian Scott and the Vikings sent a bunch. Loss of 10.
Oh, this is just coming from everybody. I mean, they collapse the pocket, turn the guys loose. Darian Scott, I mean, he's free to Rex Grossman, and then he's joined by 3 of his teammates.
And the Vikings have outrushed the Bears 86-59. Brad Johnson, looking for a receiver, has Mewelde Moore out of the backfield, and he's got the 1st down out to the 35. Picking up 11. Trying to stay warm, huh? There's Tony Siragusa, who's wrapped up well.
That
yeah,
back, yeah.
You know, they let me borrow that heater for about 3 minutes. Whew, doing some exercises down here, trying to keep cool.
Get your feet near it.
Yeah.
Once your feet get cold, you're lost. You're lost once your feet get cold.
Next exercise you do may be your first.
A little stretching.
1st down at the 31. Empty backfield now for Minnesota, and the slant is dropped by Marcus Robinson. He's had a tough time holding on to the football today. Brad Johnson taking only one legitimate shot downfield. Marcus Robinson, though, has played very well as of late, leading the Vikings with 4 touchdown catches. There's Brad Childress. By the way, grew up in Aurora, Illinois, and a big-time Bears fan when he was a youngster. 2nd down and 10. Taylor, and a flag goes down as Hunter Hillenmeyer breaks through.
The pressure that you can generate in the blitz package hasn't gotten home for the Bears this season.
2nd down and 5. Basin running up the middle, trying to protect the ball, does, and picks up the 1st down to the 46, getting 10.
There's Tommy Harris. If you're going to run the ball inside, you better be able to move him. Jason Whittle, Mike Rosenthal, good job on the double team. Up to the linebacker, Lance Briggs. Matt Burke, the center, one-on-one, does a good job securing Tank Johnson. Pretty good job by that Viking offensive line on that run.
1st down for Minnesota. Chester Taylor, not much there, with under a minute remaining.
You know what? 12-1 is 12-1. You played the extra game. I say it has to go to Florida.
Okay, 2nd down and 7. If we're a Florida State, Brad Johnson say, I like that, as his pass to the 46 of Chicago, caught by Travis Taylor. It's short of the 1st down by about 3, but it stops the clock with 47 seconds to play. So Brad Johnson doesn't have to worry about his Florida State Seminoles as far as that goes.
Well, we can't really talk, though.
Did we go to Syracuse University?
No, I think I transferred right near the end.
You transferred.
Oh, wait, I'll catch up with you that in a couple years. I'll let you know if I ever.
I think you transferred with me about a month ago. 3rd down and 3. 47 seconds left. And here's Brad Johnson, and trying to get his receiver, almost intercepted on the deflection. Billy McMullen was the intended receiver, and Ricky Manning Jr. better atmosphere to get ready for a game. And Brad Johnson on 1st down completes to Marcus Robinson. 3rd catch of the game for Marcus Robinson.
You know, I saw Bethel Johnson hopping on the sideline. My monitor's out. I don't know exactly what happened. You guys have any idea what the injury was?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. He got hit below the belt.
That was a kick.
Ooh. Man, you can see when he walked off to the sideline, it looked like he rode a horse out at halftime.
Sound like Little Red Riding Hood. 2nd down and 5 from the 24. Here's Chester Taylor. And Taylor driving for 1st down yardage. Taylor having a big 1st half. Picks up 6 yards. The fantasy update. Tommy Harris helped off the field, and the Vikings are 1st down at the 30-yard line. And the pass caught at the 35 by Travis Taylor, his 2nd catch of the game. A severe loss for the Chicago Bears if Tommy Harris is going to be out a while. So far they've been pretty good up front as far as staying healthy. Mike Brown has been their most severe injury, suffered a sprained foot in week 7 on injured reserve. And Ron Rivera telling us yesterday, the defensive coordinator, Mike Brown, held everyone accountable, including himself. A big loss for the Bears. Now Harris goes out, replaced by Alfonso Boone. 2nd down and 4, and Brad Johnson loses the football. All he wants to do is cover up, and he does, but way back at the 15-yard line. Chased by Brian Urlacher. He'll lose 18, but keep possession.
The rule is an incomplete pass. The quarterback's arm was going forward, and attempting to tuck the ball.
Big break for the Vikings there.
Now, you see, that creates a lot of confusion for me. Rule it a pass.
3rd down and 4. And the swing pass to Moeldy Moore. 1st down. Moeldy Moore down the sideline. And is finally pushed out of bounds, and flags go down. We're going to have a late hit. Chris Harris, the strong safety, and that's going to cost the Bears some more yardage. That showed no discipline whatsoever. 1st down, and Brad Johnson looking for help and takes the slide right there.
One thing about this Chicago's defense, they need to stay in their rush lanes. Right now, you saw the defensive end go way up outside, and those tackles were in the same side, and that left that big gap for Brad Johnson to go and run through, and also see his receivers better downfield. They need to close them up.
No sacks today by the Bears, as Brad Johnson avoided that by sliding and going down for no gain. 2nd down and 10. Early here in the 3rd quarter. Brad Johnson made only one big mistake, but it didn't cost the Vikings. Here's the handoff to Chester Taylor with a break, and Taylor will get the 1st down at around the 15-yard line. An 11-yard pickup, and Taylor going over 1,000 yards. First Vikings since Michael Bennett 4 years ago, and really handling things. 96 so far for him today.
Well, with Tommy Harris out of the lineup, you should start to see more running by the Minnesota Vikings. They've got depth in that defensive line, but Tommy Harris is a difference maker for that defensive front of the Chicago Bears.
15 carries, 96 yards for Taylor. 1st and 10, and here's the pitch again. And Boone, who replaced Harris in the lineup, makes the tackle, and a 2-yard gain. So the Bears clinging to the 4-point lead, but the Vikings threatening here. And this is where the Bears will try to tighten it up and try to limit the Vikings to, at best for them, a field goal. 2nd down and 8.
Now, with this wind down here picking up also, those guys should be playing to run twice as much as they did in the 1st half.
4 wide receivers. They open up the defense. They hand it off to Taylor, but nothing there. And Taylor is stopped by Alfonso Boone and Alex Brown. A 1-yard gain. So it'll be 3rd down and long for the Minnesota.
Chester Taylor getting up slow again. Now, after the Arizona game, the injury comes out after a game, and you see certain things that guys might have picked up during the game. And for Chester Taylor, it was overall body soreness. So this guy, he has never been a full-time starter in his career. Everybody's been waiting to see how he would respond late in the season. He's got his first big hurdle to overcome after that game last week, and he's been nicked up a few times today.
So Faison is in there now on 3rd down and 7. See, after Faison in there in the pass, it didn't look like Jim Kleinsaucer was ready for it. Turned around a little late, so 4th down coming up, so the Bears get the job done that way. 57 on the ground, so the Minnesota defense has played very well outdoors on the road against Chicago. 1st down at the 36. Grossman to throw. Has time. It's tipped. And it's intercepted. Ben Lieber picks it off. So right now, Rex Grossman has as many interceptions thrown as completions. The number is 3.
Well, this is just a deflection and a great play by Ben Lieber. It gets tipped inside by Pat Williams, and that's just an athletic play by Ben Lieber. You can't really put that one on Rex Grossman. Those are good plays by defenders.
Vikings have the ball on the Bear 46. 1st down, play action, and Brad Johnson has some time, and the ball bounces off a tight end, and I think the Bears have it back. Lance Briggs defending on the play comes up with it. It was Jeff Dugan who had the ball wide open, couldn't hold on, and another interception.
Jeff Dugan, here he is. He's coming downfield on the in route. Brad Johnson waits for everything to clear. He's got nobody around him. He lets that ball get to his chest and gets beat up by it. That's just, he's starting to turn and look to go upfield before he secures the catch. If that ball is in the air, those Bear defenders are going to come down with it.
Now that Rex Grossman came back out on the field, this crowd is booing right now. I think they want to change.
They ain't going to get one.
They're not going to get one. The handoff is to Thomas Jones, and Jones gets 2 yards on the play. Dwight Smith, 2nd down and 3. Here's Thomas Jones trying to go outside, and Jones close to the 1st down at the 46, chased by the veteran Darren Sharper.
That's unbelievable. They are averaging over 3 turnovers per game over the last 7 weeks. I mean, they're very fortunate to be 5-2 during that stretch. If it wasn't for their defense taking the ball back away, I mean, you don't even know what could have happened to him during this run.
Well, during the course of a season, teams are going to have their ups and downs, and if they win games when not playing well, that's a big plus. Bears are only 1 for 5 on third down conversions. They need 1 yard here, and they get it. Thomas Jones diving to midfield. Tommy Harris with an injured leg will not be back in the game, and his place was taken by Alfonso Boone.
That's a big loss for the Bears, and he was helped off the field, and you just hope he's not going to return today, but you hope he can return this season.
Chester Taylor, the injury to him with the ribs, and questionable for his return. First down, Chicago. Grossman, and under pressure, had to get rid of it in a hurry. Incomplete to Jason McKee, and they were complaining that Darian Scott might have roughed up Rex Grossman, but no flag.
Well, here's the inconsistency in this call. So he didn't flex his muscles and push him to the ground. He didn't drive him to the ground. But that, to me, causes the inconsistency in that call right there. That was worse, in my opinion, than what they flagged Brian Urlacher for early in the game.
I agree.
Neither one of them are roughing the passer, but that one is worse.
If you're going to call one, you have to call the other.
Absolutely. Second down and 10 from midfield. Jones. And Jones barely gets back to the line of scrimmage thanks to Ben Lieber.
Well, to protect the quarterback, I mean, you can't hit him in the head. You can't hit him at the knees or below. You can't use the crown of your helmet. I agree with all those, but the plays we've seen today, you're bringing in an entirely different area of roughing the passer that I don't agree with. Player safety is one thing, but taking it away, you know, this is a violent game. It's a physical game. I mean, that's what football's about. And some of these calls are going contrary to what this game is based on.
Third down and 10, but you know the old adage, they want to protect the quarterback as much as possible. Grossman stepping up, and the pass off the hands of Desmond Clark. Johnson and the Vikings. Cedric Benson, now the running back, with Chester Taylor in the locker room with a rib injury. Benson getting the call, and he's been running hard, does so again, and gets up to the 35-yard line for a pickup of 13. Chris Harris behind him on the tackle.
It's going to be tough for the Bears the rest of the game. Tommy Harris out of the lineup. You've seen it over the last series and the start of this one. Brad Childress and that offense are going right after the middle of the Bears defense, right where Tommy Harris would be anchoring everything down.
And what they're not doing, the defensive line, is penetrating. We talked about it earlier. They're on the line of scrimmage. They're zone blocking up front as offensive linemen, and the defensive linemen are just going with them. You need to go and get upfield and make the back cut and make it easier for the linebacker to know where the back's going.
Right now, Ian Scott, who was a starter the first 3 weeks of the year, is in there replacing Tommy Harris. First down at the 35 for Minnesota. Benson again with another strong run and another first down. So 2 back-to-back runs by Cedric Benson for 26 yards, doing the job with Taylor shaken up.
Well, they bring in a 2 tight end thing, but then they open their formation. Your tight ends are out here. You're forcing your linebackers out to the side. Safety drops down. Look at all the room that Brian Urlacher has to cover. Is the only linebacker in that area. They're coming out in a personnel grouping that shows run. They open up that formation to get people out of the middle, and then they just gash the Bears right in the center of their defense.
And it's not just Tommy Harris, because teams have been able to run against the Bears all year. First down at the 48-yard line, and here is Mwelby Moore. Moore gets yardage. The Vikings, with 145 yards rushing, are the 7th team to gain over 100 yards against the Bears this year. The Steelers did it last year, and then the Panthers. Bears have been vulnerable against the run.
Let's go back a play. Look at the 2 interior linemen right here. Both of those guys have their backs turned, shoulders turned. You cannot go and play the run when you turn your shoulders like that. You need to stay square so you can come back into the hole. That's why the cutback's there. That's why they're not stopping this Minnesota's run game.
And now 151 yards rushing for the Vikings. Play action. After they're worried about the run, the pass is short, and it was intended for Travis Taylor, defended by Tillman, who tried for the interception. Third down and 9.
Tony's getting upset down there.
Back of the 49 of the Vikings. And the pass is intercepted by Ricky Manning Jr. And he's going to go all the way and score.
Thank God for this defense.
talked about Brad Johnson being a game manager. He was going to take what the defense gives you. These conditions were going to play in his favor, and that has not been the case today. He has had 2 critical mistakes. This one leads to 7 points. Ricky Manning Jr. is right here. He's just bailing out. He falls right into that slant, and he's gone down the sideline.
Ricky Manning Jr., who was suspended last week by the NFL, the former Carolina Panther, and the Bears are going to be facing Chester Taylor, who's back in the backfield now for the Vikings. Play action. Brad Johnson in trouble and throws another interception. Brian Urlacher. So 38-year-old Brad Johnson, who's saying to himself, I should know better, throws another careless interception into the hands of Brian Urlacher in the face of a Tank Johnson, pressure in his face.
Well, today Brad Johnson's been a game mismanager. I mean, he's had 3 critical mistakes. I mean, he knows better than anybody that at certain points the play is over. You can't try to make something out of nothing against the Chicago Bears defense. There's too much speed. There's too much pursuit. And it just go down to the ground, take the sack, line up and punt the ball. Those are the things that made his career.
Lance Briggs does a nice job of getting in his face. As soon as he saw Lance Briggs coming, he should have got down.
Cedric Benson on the carry as the Bears starting from the 33 of Minnesota after yet another turnover and the 3rd interception thrown by Brad Johnson, a 1-yard gain on the play. So Brian Urlacher with his 3rd interception of the season. Thus far, the only turnover in which the team capitalized was Ricky Manning Jr. on the interception return for the score. 2nd down and 9. Pass caught by the fullback Jason McKee. McKee gets a 1st down and gets inside the 20-yard line. And you can see that the Chicago Bears, who have been hanging in there in a close game, taking advantage of these defensive plays, now getting some rhythm going.
Well, this is a good play call because your stunts are going to come on this side of the line. It's a quick pass that opens up to the right. You got Jason McKee. They blow the coverage because they got the blitz. They weren't able to peel off and pick him up. So a good play call into the blitz of the Minnesota Vikings.
So it'll be 3rd down and 1 on the Minnesota 23. And Grossman's pass batted down, and if Ben Lieber was able to hold on to it,
wow,
he would have been off.
You ain't kidding. Oh, he got away with one right there.
You know, I'm really surprised at leaving Rex Grossman in the pocket, even throwing these short passes. He did so much better in the 1st quarter, getting on the edge, on the dashes, and out of the pocket where he can see more, and he has better passing lanes down the field. I'm really surprised they haven't gone to that here in the 2nd half.
4th down and 1, and the Bears are going to go for it here with 3:12 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Hand off to Benson outside, 1st down, a lot more to the 10, to the 5, diving in toward the corner, and no sign giving yet. Pushed out of bounds at the 1 by Darren Sharper, saving a touchdown there. Nifty play.
Touchdown!
Sell, bounce.
It is a touchdown.
Cedric Benson, a physical runner, but he shows you some outside speed right there. He definitely got that ball inside, broke the plane to the goal line.
They had a big discussion on the sideline, thought he stepped out of bounds, but he did not, as you can see right there.
He reached over with the ball, and to the delight of Lovie Smith, touchdown. He'll take it. So the extension by Benson with the ball as he hit the pylon, and the officials got it right. And so Cedric Benson, as you mentioned earlier, and a new quarterback, Bruce Bollinger, has come in the game. So Brad Johnson has been pulled, and a 1st down on the 16. Former New York Jet. Handing off to Faison. Faison bounces out. And a fine run by Cedric Benson. So Taylor with 99 yards rushing. And Faison gets 14 on this play.
Well, everybody talked about last week when the Denver Broncos were playing and Jake Plummer was finishing up that game. Everybody wondered if that was the last pass that Jake Plummer had thrown this season. You wonder if that was the last pass that Brad Johnson's thrown this season for the Vikings.
That's a question that's going to be asked for sure. Bollinger in trouble, and down he goes. Couldn't find a receiver, and Tank Johnson gets a sack. They lose 5. And let's check in again with Chris Rose for a game break.
All right, Dick, the Falcons have life once again. Forget about that 4-game losing streak, at least for now. Jarius Norwood, look at what he does to Carlos Rogers, spinning him into the ground. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? 69 yards on the score, and the Falcons are up 10 in the 4th. Back to Dick, Moose, and Goose.
Jarius Norwood, one of the young running backs to watch in this league.
Yeah, he's got tremendous breakaway speed. You saw the moves on the open field on that one. But, yeah, we saw the Atlanta Falcons earlier today when we got a game break from Chris, and it looked like their season was unwinding. Good job of coming back and saving that season for a week.
2nd down and 15. And the handoff to Mueldy Moore spins his way to the 29-yard line. And a gain of 4, but the Vikings need to get up to the 40-yard line to get a first down with just about a minute and a half remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Ron Rivera and this Bears defense needs to go and put the pressure on Brooks Bollinger. It's about minus, I don't know, 40, 50 degrees down here, it feels like to me. But he's been standing on the sideline now for 3 quarters. Don't want to let this guy get warmed up. Bruce Bollinger
brings a whole new meaning to coming on the field being a little bit cold, huh?
Yeah, I can't even talk. My teeth are chattering.
3rd down, and Bollinger goes down again.
There it is!
And it was Alex Brown. 2nd sack of the game for the Bears. Another loss, this one for 7 yards.
Alex Brown, the defensive end, a good change up to his speed up the field. He takes a couple steps. He gets Ryan McKinney to open those hips and then breaks right back to the inside.
There's no way you can be on the sideline for that long, come out and be agile enough to move around. I feel like a 2x4 right now on the sideline.
Chris Cluey with the kick, and Devin Hester gets by one man, still on his feet. Devin Hester. What an exhibition of running for Devin Hester, the rookie from Miami. Meanwhile, Rex Grossman leads the Bears first down on the Viking 35. Cedric Benson on the pitch. And Benson, who's averaged nearly 6 yards per carry, will lose about a yard.
Chris Cluey, the punter, he's getting downfield. Brendan Ayanbadejo just takes a shot at him.
You got to do whatever you can on special teams.
Yeah.
Stick your leg out, trip, do whatever, with anything.
I thought he hurt himself right there when he came through that, and he had that little hitch in his giddy up. I thought he might have pulled his hamstring. So good to see Devin Hester go off the field on his own power.
2nd down and 9. Now Benson going in motion, split left. Grossman giving ground and dumps it off, and that could have been a dangerous play, and a flag is thrown down. Penalty markers are down. A span of 4 passes with 5:20 remaining. One returned for a touchdown, and the other one intercepted by Brian Urlacher, giving the Bears another opportunity. Here's Berrien on the pass for minimal yardage. Gets 1 yard in all.
Now with all these short passes, I mean, that downfield looks like he's sucking up all those secondary guys, and linebackers are coming up on the line of scrimmage.
Defense that has gotten it done for Chicago to this point. And the handoff, and in the end zone to see if it's a safety, and it is a safety. Tackle in the end zone with Cedric Benson, and the Bears chalk up more points by their defense.
What a bad decision by Cedric Benson in that situation. He has an opportunity to get out of the end zone, and he's going to try and make a big play. Right now, you got to get right upfield. You can't go outside in that situation in the end zone.
Chris Harris came in to make the play. Only the 4th game this year for Benson. going laterally, and it cost them against this Bear team with all the pursuit. So the Bears will now lead by a score of 23-6, and they'll get the ball back when we come back to Soldier Field. First safety in the last 2 years, Chris Harris was there, the credited to Tank Johnson. Devin Hester on the return of the free kick and brings it into Viking territory to the 48. This Bear team is an inspired team and has been special teams and defense to get it done. 21-yard return of that free kick by Devin Hester. Well, the Bears on the Viking 49, and Rex Grossman trying to take a shot to Bernard Berrien, and the ball thrown out of bounds.
You know, every coach talks about it. There's 3 facets of the football game: offense, defense, and special teams. And if you win 2 of the 3, you should win the game. But I've never seen a game ever of a team totally dominating in special teams and defense like we saw today.
And the Bears, what they're trying to accomplish this season, they actually call their fans the 4th phase. They're trying to establish home field throughout the playoffs, erase the memories of last year's playoff loss to Carolina.
And that loss was at home. 2nd down and 10. Thomas Jones is pushed back. It has been 12 years since the Bears won a playoff game. We talk about how the weather always is an advantage to them, but they lost to Carolina last year in January in the playoffs. Remember, they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in a divisional playoff at Soldier Field several years ago. You go back into the 80s, 90s. Washington and San Francisco administered defeats to the Bears, so it's not automatic with this kind of climate late in the year. But if you had your druthers, you'd rather be playing right here. 3rd down and 11. Out of the shotgun. Rex Grossman. Pass caught by Berrien, but tackled immediately by Fred Smoot. Gain of 3. One of them returned for a touchdown. So Brooks Bollinger, quarterback that Brad Childress had eyed and wanted, now in relief of Brad Johnson, completes it to Jermaine Wiggins underneath for 6 yards. 17 degrees. It does not include the wind chill factor. 1st down. And Bollinger, and the pass caught by Marcus Robinson. His forward progress will give him the 1st down up to the 24. Brian Urlacher downfield. Right now the Bears are showing 5 defensive linemen. 1st down on the 33 of the Vikings. Here's Bollinger, and the pass caught by Billy McMullen. And little stiff arming going on with Tillman going out of bounds, getting 16 yards. And a little help from Ryan Cook for Bollinger's shoulder pad, and another 1st down. McMullen, the former Philadelphia Eagle, who played when Brad Childress was the offensive coordinator there for 3 seasons. Bears trying to go now to a 10-2 on the year, and of course the Vikings trailing 23-6. 5-6 coming in, and one of 5 teams with that record in the wild card hunt. Mason gets into Bear territory. Right now, time for a game break. Here's Chris Rose.
Cleveland stretching him.
How about the Colts and the Titans tied at 17? Jeff Fisher's team losing record, playing hard. Pass out of the backfield to Faison. And Faison is buried by Brian Urlacher. He has made some crunching hits today. 3-yard gain.
Going back a play, you can see how the Chicago Bears go and attack the ball. As soon as they have one guy wrapped up, we talked about it in the first half, the rest of the guys go and attack the ball. That's why these guys are 2nd in the league in turnovers. This defense is hungry to get that ball out.
Came in leading the NFL with takeaways. 3rd down and 5 for the Vikings. Bollinger swings it out to Mewelde Moore. Mewelde Moore gets the 1st down. Good bit of running, because the Bears really had a shot at him after he caught the pass. Winds up getting 8 yards.
Yeah, that was kind of on the back hip, and Mewelde had to make a nice catch and then kind of stumbled as he tried to get directed upfield. And again, just a nice cut. He gets inside Nathan Vasher again and gets enough yards for the 1st down.
You know, the Vikings had a big opportunity when they forced a fumble Brad Childress' team had the ball in Bear territory to start the game, but since then, not good field position at all. They've started inside their own 20 7 times today. First down at the 38 of Chicago. And the pass intended for Marcus Robinson. And Robinson getting downfield, trying to beat the defender. Danielle Manning and Nathan Vasher both downfield.
You know, Darryl, with this weather down here, I'm just curious. When you played in weather like this, did you wear long sleeves or did you have your skin exposed?
When I was young, I was the foolish, sleeveless guy. And as I got older and wiser, I had long sleeves.
Yeah.
You're an old man.
I was dumb my whole career. I never wore anything.
Second down and 10. Faison breaks a tackle. And coming up to meet him is Chris Harris, playing a strong game, a strong safety for the injured Todd Johnson. As Bears down to their fourth safeties.
Yeah, I can tell right there, Tony. You got a lot of skin exposed out there. You got the sleeves rolled up.
Hey, look. See it right there?
Like, oh, I see it. I see it. There it is.
Ooh, it's cold. I can't even feel my cheeks. Whew.
Third down and 2.
Brooks Bollinger's had a little spark to this fight.
He has, once he got his rhythm going.
Yeah.
And Tony made a great point. He had to be ice cold coming into this game, and now just starting to warm up. 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Third down and 2. Bollinger's pass wide open is Billy McMullen. And McMullen walks out of bounds close to the 10-yard line. So another 19-yard gain, and now the Vikings, best they've moved the ball in a while.
Well, it is a 2-possession game. You know, this thing's not over yet. We're all sitting here talking like, you know, Chicago's got this thing wrapped up. But Brooks Bollinger's out there. The first time he took the field, you know, they're backed up. They're at the 2-yard line. Not a whole lot you can do. They have the safety the first play, but the next drive he came out. This has been a nice drive for him.
Well, Darryl, the reason we feel this way is because look at the defense they're going up against. You figure with a 23-6 lead, it's kind of safe. But a first down on the 11. Bollinger's pass is caught, and it's inside the 5-yard line. Gain of 7.
They had a 3-step drop on that one, but Bollinger has been in that, you know, that pocket and had a lot of time. There's no pass rush when they bring 4 guys from the Chicago Bear defensive line.
Marcus Robinson with the catch inside the 5-yard line. Second down and 3. And the Vikings can get a first down without getting a touchdown here. Here's Faison, touchdown, and the Vikings with their first offensive touchdown of the day. A 4-yard run by Cedric Benson.
Be an onside kick right here with a bunch.
Maybe a little early for this.
Well, that safety's a big play at this point of the game right now.
Yes. And they try the onside kick, and the Vikings get it. The Minnesota Vikings recover, and it was Greg Blue, and that was textbook. And it becomes a free ball then, because if you don't kick it into the ground and you recover, all you do is downing it downfield. So a first down, and Brooks Bollinger completes it to Marcus Robinson, who gets to midfield, and we have a flag down.
Some little coming up, but they've been flinching quite a bit.
First down, and Cedric Benson with a nifty run gets within 2 yards of the first down. For another game break, here's Chris Rose in Los Angeles.
Guys, it has been a struggle for the Patriots all day, but in the fourth, Corey Dillon punches it in. Then they go for the 2-point try. Tom Brady finds Troy Brown, Mr. Reliable, to tie it at 21, but the Lions just got a turnover. Let's send it back to Dick, Moose, and Goose.
Tell you, look at the Browns, look at the Lions and how they're fighting today. Not even mentioning the Titans against the Colts. Second down and 2. Bollinger races out of the pocket. He's a lot more mobile than Brad Johnson. And the pass is thrown incomplete. Clock down to 4:25. Bollinger under rush, and down he goes. Adewale Ogunleye. Talk about coming in untouched. That's the 3rd sack of the game for the Bears. And Ogunleye with a loss of 10 yards on the play.
Brooks Bollinger looks like he hurt his left shoulder there. It's hanging down low. He doesn't want to come off, but He looks like he's hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, that was on Cedric's face. He's trying to release out of the backfield, and he actually collides. He kind of goes in between Mike Rosenthal and Adewale Agulia and kind of gets in the way. Here's Mike Rosenthal. The rush is going to come here. Watch the release. It's actually Mewelde Moore. Goes in between him, kind of picks his offensive lineman, and he can't get back. Well, that onside kick really gave the Minnesota Vikings a chance, but, I mean, they sat there in a situation with 3rd and 2, and then with consecutive pre-snap penalties in the sack, they didn't even get themselves a chance to go for it on 4th down.
Thomas Jones is pushed back by Kevin Williams. Why would they throw?
Run that clock.
Why would they throw? 2nd down and 20. Thomas Jones. And the Vikings have only 2 timeouts remaining. 2:48 on the clock. Thomas Jones, meager day, 12 carries, 32 yards. Benson. There's the pass. And
why would you throw a pass? Why would you throw a pass? I told you, Dick Stockton, keep that ball on the ground. That's a dumb play right there.
First down on the 41. So Tavares Jackson flips to Cedric Benson, and he is brought down at the 44-yard line. Picking up about 3, Lance Briggs. And that was the first NFL pass for the 2nd-round draft choice from Alabama State.
And early in the game, they had a chance to kind of get off to a good start. They let all those opportunities slip through their fingers.
Jackson has his pass batted down by Adonijay. And if you would have told the Vikings that you're going to rush for 190 yards against the Chicago Bears, you're going to say we're going to be in pretty good shape. Well, for those of you in the home markets of our late games, in a moment, you'll be leaving this game, and we will be switching you to the start of your game. Third down and 11 on the 39. Jackson, team trailing by 10 points, and the pass is caught, so it'll be 4th down and short. Billy McMullen with the reception. Fourth down and 4. Jackson's pass, and it's caught for the first down by Jermaine Wiggins, who gets inside the 30-yard line. A pickup of 23, and Jackson signals for the timeout. That is the Vikings' 3rd and last timeout.
Yeah, thanks to everybody on our crew this weekend. It was a disaster trying to get in here. A lot of the guys got in Saturday in the morning, in the afternoon. They worked late last night to provide us the opportunity to even get on air today. So thanks to everybody.
Jackson fumbles, and it looks like Hillenmeyer recovers. Let's see. Hillenmeyer recovers the fumble by Jackson, and the Bears put a seal on it right here as players from both teams need to be separated.
But, you know, he played great in the beginning of the season. He's got to get back to that. I think he took a little bit of a step backwards today, because the one thing he was doing, he was making good decisions. Last week it was accuracy and ball placement. Today it was decisions again.
Vikings will go to Detroit next week, and the Bears will travel to St. Louis. Schedule's a favorable one the rest of the way for them, as all the Bears do is win these games. 10-2 on the year as the final seconds tick off. So for Darryl Johnson and Tony Siragusa, Dick Stockton saying so long from Chicago. The final score, the Bears 23, the Vikings 13. So long, everybody.